We're going to kick it off with runner number 22 in the field of this Grand National. It really is a cracking high-grade Grand National this year, although Leander Bernay, I believe is the way that you pronounce it, is not one that's caught my eye this season at least. Sandy, is it one that's been running through your head?
Oh, this would be a good success story for Ireland because he comes from a yard called the Thomas Gibney yard. He's only got probably couldn't have more than 10 horses in his string. He's obviously the stable star who owes them absolutely nothing. He pulled up last year in the Scottish National off the same mark on decent ground, and for me, I just couldn't have him at all.
Couldn't have him now, but I mean, of course, the small Irish yards have come and taken the spoils, haven't they? With regards to Jim Cullity with the Gold Cup in his hands was a brilliant story. Maybe Leon de Bernay could be one, but you don't think so, no?
He's about 50 to 1 shot, and he's probably around that sort of mark. He's the same on the exchanges, so he's likely to line up. But I don't think especially on good ground, the Scottish National, I watched the race back and he just never shy in the race, no.
Okay, show of hands then, I take it Sandy's turned you off like he does to most people. Billy, let's move on and get away from Leander Bernay and talk about something that's actually a bit more interesting. I'm expecting to see some thumbs pointing to the sky. Prince de Beauchesne.
Yeah, if we are going to see an Irish-trained winner, which I think we might well this year, then Prince de Beauchesne is a real possibility. Obviously trained by Willie Mullins, who knows where he is in any kind of race. I believe I'm right in saying that Prince de Beauchesne was prepared for the last 2 Grand Nationals and hasn't made it to the big day, unfortunately. And he's now an 11-year-old. That's not too old to win a national. He's just a really interesting horse. He's not been over-raced, he is classy, and he's handicapped to go very well. I just hope he gets there on the day, fits and well, and runs his race. Yeah, he's got a good shout.
I think you're right in terms like the build-up to the 12 and the 2013 National. Prince de Beauchesne was somewhat the buzzword in the build-up to it, and now he's come around for 2014. He's an interesting runner, but this is where it really matters for the viewers at home. A decision on this one, please, the panel. He's up, he's down, he's in the middle. There is some positive signs there for Prince de Beauchesne. I think he's a very interesting one for all it's worth. Anyway, somebody who's going to give us the next rundown is obviously Jono over there. Now, Monbeg Dude. There's been a lot of speculation around this horse, its ability to... Obviously, I think it's a bit of a stayer, without a doubt, but Monbeg Dude for you?
Well, I mean, any horse that wins the Welsh National is a stayer, but...
Yeah.
I don't know. He's up £18 since that win in the Welsh National, and although he won at Cheltenham in December of 138, he's still got to carry £8 more. He's up £8 in the handicap since then. I just don't think he's a horse that's particularly well handicapped at the moment. But having said this, he has been aimed at this race.
Yeah.
And Scudamore will have had his sights on this race for a very long time. I think that he beat Theatre Guide at Cheltenham, who came 3rd in the Hennessy, so that's obviously represents some good form as well. But for me, I just don't know. I'm trying to look for a horse that's well handicapped, and I just don't think Monbeg Dude is it.
Well, hopefully we'll find it as we move down the weights then, John.
Maybe.
But in that picture, Monbeg Dude neck and neck with T for 3. Will it be the same this time around, or thumbs up, wavering?
Tom must add that Paul Carberry's been booked to ride as well.
Paul Carberry booked to ride, positive, big thumbs up from Sandy Castle on Monbeg Dude. Sunny Hill Boy, as I said just before we came into part 3. Second in that very narrow photo finish with Neptune Collonges at the Grey. Unlucky on that occasion, was he not? And Sunny Hill Boy, I think, has got to go well this year, hasn't he?
No. That was off a mark of 142 that day. He was beating that short nose. He's now off a mark of 146, so he's £4 higher. Last season, he actually unseated his rider at the last. When he was completely tailed off. I think he's had his chance, and I just can't see him being involved. One thing I would say though is he did, in December, he went back over hurdles and won around Cheltenham off a mark of 128, and that was probably his race for the season. I know that sounds really strange to say that, but that's when they probably had their gamble on him, the yards.
Yeah.
I just think that he's had his chance.
So you think slightly higher up the weights, slightly lower down in terms of what he's offering this year?
Slightly older.
All things are generally playing against him. See what the panel think. I saw Billy had a little nod, the sort of shake of the head when you were talking about weights and things, but it's an undecided one for Sunny Hill Boy. I think he'll be there or thereabouts, rekindling the old flame. Sunny Hill Boy was very game in that national 2 years ago and may well reproduce that effort at big odds. Billy Blakeman is in for our next runner. It's Big Shoe.
Yeah, Big Shoe is really interesting because he's a cross-country horse. Sometimes cross-country horse is an older chaser that's maybe past his prime, but Big Shoe's quite a young horse, a 9-year-old. He won the cross-country race at the Cheltenham Festival last year really nicely. He ran in it again this year. He's not the most experienced, but obviously those cross-country races are quite quirky. And a big thing with the Grand National, you need a horse to enjoy himself and take to it. And you can see Big Shoe taking to the place and taking to the big occasion and running a good race. It's very difficult to gauge the form in a cross-country chase and relate it back to what I'd call a normal race, if this is a normal race. But no, you wouldn't be without a chance. Give you a good one for your money.
Well, I don't know how you can class the Grand National as a normal race. This is like the race where there's not form for it,
not a cross-country race,
apart from 365 days ago. But we'll have a show of fingers and thumbs again on that one. Big Shoe. Ooh, I'm getting in my own production. Ooh, Big Shoe. We just don't know yet. Let's move down. I'm waiting to find this gem that Jono, I know, has got in his little trouser pocket over there. Burton Port. How about Burton Port?
Well,
old timer.
Absolutely. Ran in a veterans chase last time, and I was a backer, and came second to Summary Justice, who was also very well backed in the race. I do like this horse. He seems to be, I suppose, been running for years and years and years. He quite likes the track. He's come second here before, and he's come fifth in the Betfair Bolt. Although, I mean, to be fair, he was tailed off in that. But he's got a great record overall. And I think that his mark is very feasible. He was once rated 166, now racing off 145, and for that reason he was coming back to form last time at Newbury. I'm optimistic.
And for that reason I'll invest. I was looking at it actually, and there are older horses in the race, so he's not completely outdone in that department anyway. So have a show of fingers and thumbs for that one. It's up from Jono. Look, Jono's big and bold with that. And by the way, John Henwood Ross did give us Lord Windermere for the Gold Cup, so keep your ears open whenever that little bloke's talking. Sandy Castle, our father, interesting. Our father, I've been looking at this one throughout his career, to be honest with you, and I don't know whether the National's his race, but do you?
He finished 7th in the Hennessy this year, behind Trio de Lane. Obviously, the Gold Cup winner was in 8th with Lord Windermere. Since he's been soundly beat at Haydock and Cheltenham, has dropped to a mark of 136. Yet the handicapper has absolutely taken no chances with him and has actually given him a mark of 145 for this race. So it's quite an unusual sort of situation because his real mark's 136. He's currently a 50-1 shot with the bookies.
Badly handicapped is what you're saying.
But yeah, clearly. And he's 140-1 on the exchanges, suggesting that he probably won't take his chance.
Because probably they know he's out of the weights, I suppose.
Well, that's one of the reasons, but I imagine that I think he'd want a bit of cut in the ground as well.
Okay, fair enough. And lovely grey horse, mind you. He's had the pitch up there.
He's a smashing looking horse,
yeah. You'd back him on looks, but not on the form that he's bringing now to this Grand National. Wavering thumbs and hands and whatever you want to show me all at once, please. All thumbs down. Go and lay our father, whatever odds you probably won't get. It's not going to be a lot of value there. Let's move on to the next one. I'm hoping Billy Blakeman knows more about it than I do, because to be honest with you, Mountainous isn't ringing too many fresh bells in my head. Mountainous, Billy?
Yeah, I mean, he won the Welsh National. Obviously, you do need stamina for that. That's a good sign. It's a very, very hard race, though, to be honest. So, a horse wins or runs well in the Welsh National, you just worry about it a little bit. He didn't do so well next time. He went to, I think it was Foss Lass for the West Wales National earlier in the year. He didn't run so well. It would be a good training performance by Richard Lee. The ground may not be quite soft enough for him. In his favour is stamina, but I just couldn't be sure that he would be one for me this year.
So all of these solid attempts in regional national races, but maybe not going to pull it together at the big
maybe
one,
not this year.
The Crabbies Grand National. A show of opinion on that one then, guys. Somewhere in the middle, and John, I know. No, certainly not. Jono's cup of tea there. Not like tea.
When he candles
was.
in, I regret doing that.
Yeah, well, I reckon you might do. The Rainbow Hunter.
The Rainbow
Hunter. What do you know about this one, Jono?
Well, Kim Bailey's reasonably optimistic, I think. I mean, he unseated in last year's National and hasn't always been a fluent jumper. I mean, surely that's got to be a concern in the Grand National. He's running off a career high mark. He's up £8, I think, since his last win at Doncaster, which is the Sky Bet Chase, and £4 higher than when he unseated in last year's National. I think for me, it's going to be a very tough order. Although I think he'll probably get the trip. I just think if he stays upright, I just think it's a tough task.
Quick hands. Medium, bit of medium down. Generally, we don't think that the Rainbow Hunter of the We May Never Get Found Out partnership will probably get found out in the Grand National this year.